everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing another artwork in a little series that I have been doing lately. Now this series is drawing myself in specific worlds or as specific things. I don't know, I don't really have a name for this series. It's just drawing myself as a blank. And in this case, I'm actually drawing myself as a Disney princess. This has been high up on the list of artworks that I've been wanting to do, and I'm so excited to finally do it. And yeah, this one was a really fun one. Now, as usual, I am sketching this out digitally because that's just how I felt like at the time, and of course I am going to include my little cat. It seems to be a theme where I include my cat in each of these artworks. I didn't do it on purpose at first, but the first few ones had my cat in it because, well, I'm just always with my cat Pumpkin. But after that, I decided I wanted to keep her in each of these artworks because she's very near and dear to me and I love my cat. So yeah, of course I'm going to include my cat in this. So yeah, here is the rough sketch and I'm just trying to work around a few sort of background ideas. I wanted to do one of those sort of cut out ones where it was, you know, just a random shape behind her and you can see a little bit of the white of the page, but there's also details in the background, and I was really excited to do that, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I just, you know, roughed out a few ideas, but that actually wasn't what I ended up going with in the final artwork. Now I'm onto the line art now, and usually I prefer to print it out at this time and then do the line art traditionally. However, I just really felt like doing digital line art again because it's just one of the things I love to do, and I wanted to do colorful line art because that's sort of the style that Disney princess artworks have in their sort of official art, and I wanted to sort of follow that a bit because, well, I wanted to keep it as close to a Disney princess as I could, and yeah, that's just what I went with, and I'm pretty happy with it. So for the pose, I wanted to go with something not too crazy. I kind of wanted it to fit in with the sort of other Disney princess official artworks. They usually have like a standing pose where they're either like doing something with their arms or they're holding something, and in this case obviously it's my cat. But yeah, as for the style and the outfit, I kind of took inspiration from a few different Disney princesses here and there. There's definitely a lot of Alice in Wonderland in this, not crazily, but the sort of shorter floofy dress was a little bit inspired by Alice, and obviously the shoes and socks. Other than that, I took a few inspirations here and there from other Disney princesses while trying to keep it still you know, its own thing. And yeah, one of the other things I wanted to add definitely was some definite Australian like things in this because I'm Aussie and that's a big part of who I am, and obviously I wanted to have the Aussiness showing out in this. So down below you can see I have drawn a little bilby. Now I've done this because a lot of the times with Disney princesses they'll have like little animal friends, and I definitely wanted to add little animal friends because I love animals so much. And yeah, so I added a bilby down the bottom and a sort of bird at the top. Now I was trying to look up a few different Australian birds, and I came across this little one called a fairy wren, which is actually not that common, but it is Australian. So I went with that because I wanted something small. I didn't want like a huge galah or a cockatoo because that wouldn't really work with the illustration. So that's why I went with a small bird there. Now I am on to the colouring phase, and this is one of my favourite parts of illustrating, is colouring it in. It is where you add the magic and your art sort of just comes all together and it just looks really nice. And yeah, that's basically why I love colouring so much in the illustration process. But yeah, I'm using my markers today, my Copic markers, because, well, as I say in every single Copic marker video, they are my favourite and I love them so much. And yeah, I own a lot of Copic markers, so I might as well use them. So yeah, what colors are we using today in this illustration? As per usual, we're using a lot of my favorite colors. Now, my favorite colors are purple and yellow. However, I'm mainly concentrating on the yellow for this illustration because I wanted to have a really warm theme to this. Obviously, I wanted to add some pinks and yellows and peachy colors in there, and a little bit of gold as well, because that just sort of has that sort of warmness that Disney princesses have. And yeah, I really felt like just doing some really warm, bright colors because that's just the sort of mood I was feeling at the time. So as I said earlier, we have this sort of knee-length skirt dress thing. It's definitely a dress, and I wanted to have that sort of fluffy frills coming out of the bottom of the dress because that's very common with Disney princesses, and honestly I love that look. I think it's really cute. Now, other than that, I have a sunflower in her ear here because sunflowers are my favorite flowers, and of course they're yellow, so I had to include it. And other than that, I have a gold tiara and a lot of flowers in the hair as well. Now, I did this because it is a big theme with Disney princesses, and I do love nature and I love flowers and I love growing plants, so yeah, that's why I added that. Now, I didn't want to go too crazy with the color scheme because that is a thing I am tempted to do every time. I want to be like, oh, I want to add blue, that'll be nice, and I want to add green here and purple here, but I was trying to keep a sort of slightly limited color palette. I didn't want to go too crazy, so of course there are a lot of yellows, pinks, orange is a big one in there, and later I do add green, but I tried to keep the blues and the purples to a minimum, mainly because I wanted that warm color palette like I said earlier. So colouring in the animals, I definitely wanted to have a lot of dimension. That's why you can sort of see a hint to the stripes on Pumpkin, my cat's tail. And yeah, as colouring in the hair, I have a sort of blonde, sort of ombre balayage type thing going in my hair at the moment, so I definitely added that into my hair, and I had a little bit of problems with colouring in the hair, mainly because I seem to have misplaced the usual marker that I use for the brown parts in my hair, which is called Carib Cocoa, and yeah, I kind of misplaced that marker. I don't know, it kind of just like grew legs and walked off for some reason, I don't know, but I ended up going in with burnt umber instead, which is a fairly bit darker than what I usually do, but to be honest, I do like this color, and to be honest, it did add a lot more value to the art than it would have had if I just used Carib Cocoa. So to be honest, it is a bit of a happy accident, so you know what, I'm not mad. Now, it wouldn't be a Disney princess if I didn't add a little bit of glitz and glam. We do have that golden tiara on top of my head here, but I wanted to add a little bit more, so I ended up going in with my white gel pen and just drawing lots of little dots all over the pink parts of my dress. And this was to sort of make it look like it was sequiny or like glittery, or it has like diamantes or sequins or something on there that's glittering. And to be honest, I'm really happy with the results of that. I think it looks nice and shiny, and it just adds a little bit more interest and texture to the artwork. Now on to colouring in the bilby. Now, to be honest, I love bilbies so much. I have drawn them on my channel before, you probably know this. They are an adorable little Australian animal and I can't get enough of them, so that's definitely why I added in a bilby, because I just love them so much. Now for that background, I actually ended up going in with a tree in the background. Now this tree is one of my favourite Australian trees. It is the wattle tree. Now wattle is a really beautiful sort of tree where it grows these like tiny little flowers, but they more look like little fluffy tiny balls. I don't know, but they are really nice and they just smell amazing and they look really nice with that green foliage and the yellow, bright yellow sort of balls all over the tree. And yeah, I actually this reminds me a lot of my primary school when I was a kid, because we had a lot of those in the grounds of the school, and I just love those trees so much, so that's why I had to add that. After this, I wanted to add a bit of a sky outline around it, because I wanted that shape, that random shape behind the character that sort of has the character popping out a little bit. So I ended up going in with Cool Shadow, which funnily enough is a very warm sort of blue color. It's sort of like it's a little bit on the edge of green and blue, but to be honest, I still consider it a bit of a bluish color. And yeah, I really love the results of this. I think it just looks so cute. I love the soft background, and the characters pop out really nicely, and it just looks so cute. But yeah, here is the final results, and I love it so much. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know below what you think and any ideas of what I should draw myself next in this series. We've done a few interesting ones, so I would like to see your thoughts on that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you haven't yet, hit like and subscribe to get your scribble fix in the future, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!